So how does a company that's practically synonymous with the ultimate sports car also become this absolute industrial giant by selling a luxury SUV? It sounds kind of weird, right? Well, the answer is this incredible mix of brilliant engineering, a wild billion-dollar gamble that literally saved the company, and honestly, a deep, deep understanding of what people really want. Let's dig in and deconstruct Porsche's formula for success. Okay, to really get what makes Porsche so special, you first have to look at the undisputed king of profit, Ferrari. I mean, check this out. In 2023, for every single car they sold, Ferrari banked, get this, a staggering $192,000 in pure profit. Now Porsche, by comparison, they made around 37 grand. So you look at that and you think, okay, no contest, Ferrari wins. But that's exactly where this story gets really interesting.
And that right there, that's the big question, isn't it? How on earth did Porsche build this absolute profit empire while making so much less per car than its biggest rival? The answer, it turns out, is a total masterclass in business strategy. And it has a lot less to do with just building fast cars.
So here's how we're going to crack this case. We'll start with the profit puzzle, then look at their engineer's edge. We'll get into the billion-dollar gamble, see how they swallowed a whale, understand the science of prestige, and finally, look at the road ahead.
All right, first up, the profit puzzle. You know, while Porsche doesn't have that Ferrari crown for profit per car, only comparing those two, well, you're missing the real story. We need to zoom out a bit and see how they stack up against, everybody else.
And this is where the picture really snaps into focus. Okay, yeah, Ferrari is just on another planet. We get it. But look down the rest of that list. Porsche is making more than 3 times the profit per car as Mercedes-Benz, over 5 times more than Tesla, and an absolutely insane 20 times more than a giant like Ford. So you see, the key isn't that they're number 2 to Ferrari. The key is that they are absolutely dominating everyone else.
So what's the secret sauce? How do they do it? Well, it's not just one thing, but a huge part of it starts with something that's been baked into their DNA from day one. Let's call it the engineer's edge.
Okay, this is so important to get. Porsche did not start out building cars. Nope. They started way back in 1931 as an engineering consultancy. They were problem solvers for hire. In fact, they designed the legendary Volkswagen Beetle long before they ever dreamed of putting their own crest on a car in '48. And that engineering-first mindset, it is absolutely the foundation of everything they do today.
Think about it. For pretty much every other car company, R&D is just this giant black hole for money, a huge cost. But for Porsche, it's a profit center. Yeah, you heard that right. Through their Porsche engineering group, they actually sell their world-class expertise to other companies, working on everything from Audis to forklifts. Seriously, it's a brilliant move. It makes them money, sure, but it also lets them keep this massive team of incredible engineers on the payroll, which gives them a crazy advantage when it comes time to build their own cars.
But even that engineering edge wasn't always enough. By the early 90s, the company was circling the drain. They were on the verge of collapse, and that desperation led to one of the biggest, most controversial, and riskiest gambles in the history of the car industry.
I mean, the situation in the early 90s was just dire. Sales had completely tanked, they were bleeding cash, and the CEO knew that just building more of their iconic sports cars wasn't going to cut it. His solution was, well, it was unthinkable. For the purists, it was absolute heresy. Porsche was going to build an SUV. It was this massive bet that could either save the company or completely destroy its soul.
And the bet paid off. Oh man, did it pay off. The Cayenne SUV launched in 2003, and you can see the impact almost instantly. Look at that chart. Within just a few years, production numbers basically doubled, and revenue just shot straight up. The very car that the hardcore fans called a corruption of the brand. It didn't just save Porsche, it became the financial engine that funded everything for the next decade.
So now they're flush with cash, thanks to the Cayenne. And what does Porsche do? They make their most audacious, most insane move yet. They decided to try and take over one of the biggest companies in the world. Just look at this. I mean, the sheer mismatch in 2007 is unbelievable. You've got Porsche, with about 12,000 employees, and they set their sights on the Volkswagen Group, a behemoth with over 300,000 employees, and 60 times the sales volume. It's a classic David and Goliath story. And in one of the most incredible corporate power plays ever, Porsche used all that new cash to buy a majority stake in the giant. It was literally the minnow swallowing the whale.
Okay, but this creates a huge new problem, right? So much of Porsche's value is tied up in its elite, exclusive image.
So how in the world do you protect that when you're now tied at the hip with a mass-market giant and you're building cars like the Cayenne that literally share parts with a Volkswagen?
Well, the answer is you figure out how to make a mass-produced car feel like it was handmade just for you. This is what they call their manufacturer advantage. And we're not talking about a few color options here. We're talking about over 1,000 of them. They have a program called Sonderwunsch, which just means special request, that lets you create a car that is truly a one-of-one. I mean, imagine having your car's paint applied by hand, a process that takes over 7 hours, or having the leather interior stitched in a custom pattern that only you have. It's this obsession with the details that turns a vehicle into a personal statement, and that creates this powerful feeling of exclusivity even while the company is building more cars than ever.
So let's recap. You've got the incredible engineering, you've got the blockbuster SUV printing money, and you've got this bespoke, handmade feel. All of these things come together to power the real economic engine behind Porsche's profit machine, the magic of prestige pricing.
Yeah, it's a thing called prestige pricing, and it's a wild idea. It's a strategy where the high price isn't just a result of the quality. The high price itself is a feature of the product. It's not just about covering costs. It's a tool they use to create the feeling of value, of status, of being part of an exclusive club. You're not just buying an object, you're buying into an idea. This is the totally backward-sounding psychology that makes the whole luxury world go round. For most things, a higher price means fewer people buy it. But here, a high price doesn't push people away. It actually signals quality and makes the premium feel justified. That feeling of scarcity, whether it's from a limited edition or just your own super personalized car, makes you want it even more. And it creates this weird economic situation where, up to a certain point, raising the price can actually make more people want to buy it. That's the secret sauce.
Okay, so what does all this mean for the future? I mean, how does a company that built its legend on the sound and feel of gasoline engines navigate a future that's looking more and more electric? You know, maybe the best clue to Porsche's future comes from its founder, Ferry Porsche. He said, "In the beginning, I looked around and could not find the car I dreamed of, so I decided to build it myself." See, the mission was never really about a specific technology, like a flat-six engine. It was always about building a dream car. That was the goal back in 1948 with a little sports car, and it's the exact same goal today, whether that car is an SUV or it's fully electric.
And that leaves us with one final big question. We're heading into an electric future where insane acceleration and instant torque, well, they're going to be available in a lot of cars. Speed itself is about to become a commodity. So, in that world, what makes a brand like Porsche special? What are people actually buying? Will it be the raw performance numbers, or will it be the story, the craftsmanship, the prestige? In other words, the dream. That's the billion-dollar question, and Porsche is betting its entire future on the answer.